Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Overdrive File. Sorry it's been a little bit, but we have some catching up to do, or at least I do. First up here, this is all coming off of the Ray Fisher tweet, him accusing Joss Whedon's behavior on set, his on-set behavior during the Justice League reshoots. Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin on the Fat Man Beyond podcast. This is old news, by the way. This is from, I think it came out on maybe Friday of last weekend on their Fat Man Beyond podcast. They broke down Ray Fisher's tweet word by word and what all that could possibly sort of mean. But Kevin Smith also added some insight on what he heard on the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker set. And he talked to some special effects guys or whomever, and apparently they worked on both versions of Solo, the ones with Lord and Miller and Ron Howard, as well as Zack's version of Justice League and the Whedon cut or the Whedon reshoots. So there's a quote here that I want to get into, and I really want to know your guys' thoughts. Like, obviously we've had some couple of days to sort of sit on this, and just let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. But anyways, let's get into this quote here. Remember when I went to the Skywalker set, some people had worked on both versions of Solo and both versions of Justice League. The special effects guy said there was a fair amount of trashing Zack's version of the movie on set by Joss. That Whedon would cut down, dismiss, and be negative about Zack's version, which he had seen and all these people made together without him. So this dude came on set. He was the new guy on set. All these other people had already been working on Justice League, and he comes in and he goes into the screening room with the executives and are looking at all the, the footage that Zack and the crew shot and spent months of their lives on, blood, sweat, and tears. And it's just talking shit about it to the cast and crew that had been already working on this thing, spending so much of their time and lives on this thing. And that's just an extremely shitty thing to do. And like, you're supposed to be like, even with like, I remember going back to like some of the Solo stuff. Solo, A Star Wars Story. This is over 2 years at this point, but I was following that stuff pretty closely. And, when that whole debacle happened, like shit hit the fan, and it's just like, what the hell are they going to do? But then they got Ron Howard, and it seemed like they were really trying to have a good sense of like morale. Like Ron Howard seems like a pretty nice guy and seemed like I don't know, maybe just the right type of like coach or director to get in there and sort of get everybody's spirits up. I don't know. It just this type of thing seems like the opposite of what to do in a situation like this, where the director, walked away or WB, fired him. I don't know all the details, right? But, it just seems like the opposite thing that someone in his position should do. And it just kind of shows you the type of guy that this dude really is. It's just a completely shitty thing to do, for the people that are sort of working under you and for you. I just can only imagine it must have been just a totally like stressful situation. And I'm sure a lot of just like the crew members in general, a lot of people that are doing like the backbreaking work probably just despise the guy on set. But yeah, it's just the Kevin Smith spilling the tea. And I think we're only going to be hearing more and more about this, especially with Ray Fisher's tweet. And even on like Instagram, the guy came out and, said this is just things are just getting started. And he's still under contract as well. Like that's something we weren't entirely sure on. Like a little bit ago, we thought Ray Fisher's contract expired. It didn't seem like they were going to be doing anything with the Cyborg movie, but he confirmed on his Instagram live stream that he's still under contract and under NDA. But there's only so much he can say publicly. But I think in due time we're gonna see more of this come to light. But yeah, interesting stuff, man. It's just like the dude's a total asshole. You know, it just like how much worse can the Justice League or Justice League situation get? You know, it's just like how much more is there? Like we need a full on documentary about this. Obviously, we have Sean O'Connell's book coming out, but I don't know how much. Obviously, this is like brand spanking news here, so I don't know. It's all interesting, guys. Let me know down below your thoughts on this. Anyways, Zack Snyder had quite the 4th of July Twitter thread, and we have Scott McClellan from the DC Film Squadcast to thank for sort of collating all of these tweets and responses from Zack's Vero, all these screenshots that Scott gathered together. So thank you, Scott. Fan of the podcast as well. But let's get into some of these. This is from Jad Balani. Assuming that your cut of Justice League somehow got released back in 2017, how different would it have been from the one we're going to see in 2021? I mean, have you made certain compromises in order to release your cut, or are we going to see it exactly like you intended it to be? No compromise. Flex arm. Now that's awesome. Like that's the thing about how they titled this thing. The marquee of this whole movie is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like that's literally the marquee. So it makes sense. And would this guy have wanted to come back and sort of like partially finish his movie, or fully finish and realize, you know, his vision from the start? And I think this sort of proves kind of what we've all been talking about, like how all of the additional photography, the added scenes that he wants to do, that we saw in the clapperboard that you know, Mighty Pegasus won for the fan poster contest. We're gonna see the added scenes. You know, we're gonna get some more info down here, but 2017 all compromise. Yeah, I mean, they made him change the script right after BVS. So how much of that original idea are we gonna get? The pre-BVS script? I don't know, but you know, I think we're gonna get as much of it as he can do. But anyways, there's more. This person asks, "Hey boss, want to break Twitter and confirm Steppenwolf has his original design in your Justice League? Is that well known?" That's awesome. And that's one thing that I was curious. Like, he was releasing those, obviously those black and white Vero photos over the last several months of like a Steppenwolf that looked slightly different than the theatrical cut, but it still wasn't that Steppenwolf that we saw in the Kryptonian ship with Lex Luthor in the I guess it was the deleted scene from the theatrical cut, but it was in the Ultimate Edition. But yeah, that's one thing that I just didn't know if they would totally do that redesign of Steppenwolf, and thank God they are, because just that theatrical version of Steppenwolf, it was just awful. Just the whole mouth, you know, visual effects of it all. And I feel like that's a great way to just sort of like start fresh, is just get that visual of Steppenwolf out, you know, just get it away, start brand new, you know, something totally fresh. We don't even really know, other than that like faraway shot from like the history lesson of Darkseid or Uxas. Like, we don't even really know what like Darkseid's gonna look like in this. And even in that scene, that was Steppenwolf in the theatrical cut. So lots to look forward to. But yeah, is that not well known? I mean, not really. I mean, this is like the first time where it's been like publicly addressed. But anyway, continuing on. One question about the Nightmare. Why does Superman have the red and blue suit and not the black one? When he succumbs to the anti-life, he returns to the red and blue suit. Obviously, like, he would probably be sort of trying to appear to some of like the public that he was good, I guess. I don't know. By not wearing that black suit. But the black suit's a solar suit as well, so. Let's see here. Okay, when asked if working on VFX. Fuck yeah, so deep in it. Oh, that's awesome. Sir, will Jonathan Kent appear one more time in your Justice League movie? Now that's a question. Winky face. And obviously, like, Zack Snyder's like winky faces. I guess you guys can't see it. It's so far to the bottom there. But they tend to lean towards yes. Let's see. It would be awesome to see Come Together playing in the first trailer of Zack Snyder's Justice League. It would bring back the amazing memories before the 2017 disaster. I have something better. Awesome. Cannot wait. David Avery, Ohio Dave, who's done some of the, the watch parties on Twitch. You guys can check those out. Hopefully there'll be I'm sure there will be one for Zack Snyder's Justice League. We get in the Junkie XL score for Justice League. Fuck yes. Oh, that's awesome. There has been some debate over whether or not your Justice League has Lois giving the speech where she says, "Only from the darkness can we truly feel the light." Could you settle for us? In your vision of the film, does Amy Adams give that statement? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's hilarious. Does Cyborg have a nightmare vision where Superman is destroying the world under Darkseid's authority? Some moments before Clark opens his eyes and flies out of the ship when the League drops the mother box on him. Winky face. So there probably is something similar to that. But those are the ones that I kind of wanted to get into. There was a bunch more. The guy just kind of went on a tirade, just responding to everybody on 4th of July. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Everything we talked about, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, all that sort of stuff. I was pretty behind on all this DC news that sort of came up at the tail end of last week and sort of into the the remaining end of the weekend and Monday, Tuesday, and all that stuff. But anyways, guys, I'll probably be doing a live stream Friday night or Saturday night, so stay tuned. Not sure which night, but I'll obviously post the live feed, sort of like thumbnail and all that on my YouTube channel, well in advance. So you should be seeing that in like your subscription feed. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rex Overdrive. I'll see you next time.